Namaste students, myself Sunil Kumar from the Department of Computer Science. Today we are moving to the first chapter, chapter 1, typical configuration of computer system. And today's topic is introduction to computer system, block diagram of a computer and characteristics of motherboard and also with the types of motherboard. That topics we are going to discuss in this session. So we will move to the session now. So what is a computer? If you take the introduction, what is a computer? Computer is an electronic machine that can store, recall and process the data. Computer system is an electronic machine that can store and recall and also possible to process the data, that is actually known as computer systems. So that is mainly performing the three operations. One is it can store the data. It is possible to store the data and also possible to recall the data, and storing and retrieving, that is a recalling, and also is possible to process the data. That is also mainly three work of the computers. It can perform the task or complex calculations. It can perform the task. If you give any task, that task can be performed. Along with that, complex calculations is also possible to perform the complex calculations according to a set of instructions or based on the instruction should be given. If you take the computer system, user should give the instructions. Based on the particular instruction, system is going to perform. So that instructions are also known as program. Set of instructions, set of multiple instructions, that is actually known as programs. So according to the program or according to the instruction, complex calculations are going to be completed. If you give any complex programming or complex calculations, that completed according to the set of instructions or the programs given by the users. So this is about the computer. See, already we discussed all these topics in a first PUC. If you take the second PUC also, this is the first introduction to the computer, that is there. So we have to study this topic also. The terms and definitions in the study of computer system. If you take the computer system, mainly three terms or four terms are the important terms. The first term is hardware. So what is a hardware? The physical parts of a computer system is called as hardware. If you take the computer system contains the different physical parts. Any physical part of the computer system, not external additional parts, only basic parts. What you can say that monitor, mouse, keyboard, RAM, CPU, all these things. Everything is a physical part of the computers. That physical part of the computer is known as hardware. So that hardware components can see, we can see that, you can touch that, and also you can feel that. By seeing that one, you can say there's a hardware, or by seeing that one, you can touch that one. It's also possible to feel. So by touching, we can feel that, that is a hardware. So that type of devices are known as hardware, also known as peripheral devices. It is also known as peripheral devices. Examples: keyboard, mouse, monitor, RAM, CPU. Then other than that, many other devices, hard disk is there, all like that, different devices also available. I only mentioned only 4 to 5 example here. Not only this one, many examples are available. So these are the hardwares. The next one comes software. What is a software? Software is a set of or collection of programs. Set of or collection of programs is known as software. For example, if you want to work with the system, if you want to make the hardware to work, hardware is required. Normally, if you want to give the input, keyboard is required. If you want to display the result, monitor is required. These are the output devices, input device, hardwares. If you want to make the hardware working, then set of programs are required. Set of program is set of instructions are required normally. Normally instructions are required. That instructions are known as software. Set of instructions. So whenever if you type letter Y, so Y should be typed in, Y should be displayed in key monitor. So if you type T, if you type the letter T, the same letter should be displayed on the monitor. So that is hardware working. If you want to make the hardware working, then software is required. Software means that is a set or collection of programs, set or collection of your programs, that is actually known as softwares. So example, we can say the operating system. Operating system, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows XP, Ubuntu, then we can take the Mac also possible, iPhone, iOS, Android, in case of mobile Android. So these are the different types of operating systems. Next comes data here. So what is a data? Data is the raw information or basic facts that computer can process. For example, if you want to perform particular task, then some data, some things are required. For example, if you want to work with the computer, then if you are going to add two numbers, you are going to add the two number. Whenever if you are going to add two number, two inputs are required normally. That input is actually known as data. So normally in case of computer system, which data you will give as an input, that is actually known as data. Or we can say that is a raw information or basic facts is known as data, and that data will be processed in a computer. That data will be processed inside the computer, and after that, after processing, then it will produce a useful information. So it produces information, that is useful informations will be produced after processing the data. That is actually data and informations. The next one is important one, user or users. You will see user or users. People who use the computers are called as users. People, if you take the people, those who uses the computer system, that person is actually known as users. Normally who uses the computer means persons. Any people can use the system, that person is known as users. These are the important terms in case of computer system. The next we will see the block diagram. This is a 5-mark question. Remember, block diagram of the computer system. They are asking for 5 marks. What is it? If you take the block diagram, before moving to the block diagram, a computer is designed using the 4 basic. If you want to design the computer, then mainly 4 basic units are there. That units are, one is input unit, second one is central processing unit, next one is memory unit, and last one is output unit. There are mainly 4 units are available. One is input, central processing unit, memory unit, and output unit. We are going to discuss one by one later. But in case of CPU, there are 2 units are there. One is control unit, that short form is CU, control unit, and also arithmetic and logic unit. ALU and CU is a part of CPU. Then input unit, memory unit, and also with the output unit. These are the different components. Mainly you can say these are the mainly 4 basic units of the computer system. So we will move to the block diagram. So you can see here the block diagram. If you take the block diagram, input unit is there and also output unit. You can see input unit, output unit, and you can see the one CPU. Inside the CPU there are 2 parts are there. One is control unit and also with the arithmetic and logic unit. Then if you take the memory units, next part is memory unit. That memory unit, inside that there are 2 types of memories available. One is primary memory and one more is secondary memory. Primary memory and secondary memory, that is a part of memory unit. If you take the CPU, inside the CPU, control unit and also will be the arithmetic and logic unit. So these are the parts of the computer. So what you can see here, if you take the input unit, that is mainly used to feed the data to the computer. So you can see the arrow mark there. After input unit, you can see the arrow mark that is pointing to the CPU. Means input, by using the input unit is feeding the data to the computer or CPU. Then next, if you take the output unit, that output unit is displaying the output or is producing the output, show the result to the users. Is showing the result. Result is not always in the form of text and all. Sometimes if this playing the song, when you are going to play the song, it is in the form of audio, or sometimes in the form of video, or sometimes in the form of waves. That also possible. So that everything is known as output. So what after processing, sometimes you will get the different kind of data. That different kind of data is known as output. That is produced in case of output unit. Then here, if you see the output unit, it is pointing to outside. So CPU, if you see the CPU is pointing towards output unit, means data is transferring to the output unit. From the CPU, data is transferring to output unit. From the input unit, data is transferring to the CPU. Then next point here is CPU. CPU means It is a central processing unit. CPU means the central processing unit that mainly contains CU and also with the ALU. CPU contains two units, one is CU and ALU. CU means is a control unit that mainly control the overall operations of the computer system. If you take the computer system, overall operations of the computer system will be controlled by the CU, and arithmetic and logical unit. Second part is arithmetic and logical unit is also known as ALU, arithmetic and logic unit. In case of arithmetic and logic unit, that will perform all the arithmetic and logical operations. All the arithmetic and logical operations are performed in ALU. The next is the memory unit. Next one you can see here, memory unit. That memory unit is used to store the data. Memory unit is used to store the data inside the computer system. So if you take the memory unit, there are mainly two types of memories available. One is primary memory and one more is secondary memory. Memory is mainly are of two types. One is primary memory and one more is secondary memory. The primary memory is, we can say, data stored temporarily, not permanent. So we can say that primary memory is accessed directly by the CPU. CPU means processor. Processor can access the primary memory directly. If you go for secondary memory is accessed through the primary memory. So this is the block diagram of the computer system. So next we will discuss one by one. The first one is input unit. The computer needs to receive the data and instruction in order to solve a problem. The input unit performs this operation. Mainly, if you want to perform any operation or any task, for example, if you take the computer, that is mainly used for problem solving, to solve particular problem. So problem solving means performing the particular task. If you want to perform the particular task, mainly data is required and also with the instructions. If computer works means, if computer needs to work means, then input instructions are required. You have to input the instructions and also data is required. So that data and also instruction, that is provided by the input unit. So input unit mainly provide the data and also instructions to solve a problem. The next one is the input unit basically links the external world or environment to the computer system. Means by using the input unit, external data can be fed to the computer. External data can be fed to the computers using the input unit. The input unit may consist of one or more input devices. If you take the input unit, that may consist of one or more input devices. For example, if you take the computer system, mouse is one input device. Then keyboard is one more input device. If you take the scanner, scanner is one more type of input device. So these are the different types of input devices. All these devices are together known as input unit. All these devices togetherly or collectively we can say that it is an input unit. So that is input unit or input. The next one is central processing unit, CPU. CPU means that is central processing unit. The function of the CPU is to interrupt the instructions in the program and execute them one by one. So if you take the CPU, that instruction, for example, if you give the instruction to the computer using the input device or input unit, that input will be received and that will execute instructions one by one. That executes, or CPU executes instructions one by one. So whenever 10 instructions are given means it will execute the instruction one after another. That is the work of CPU. If you take the CPU contains mainly two parts, mainly three parts are there, but only for you only two parts are given. One is control unit. One is control unit means CU. So normally we say that CU, control unit, and one more is arithmetic and logic unit. Arithmetic and logic unit. If you take the control unit or CU, it controls and directs the transfer of a program instruction and data between the various units. Means normally we can say it is a control the overall operations. When data should be transferred to the input device to CPU, when data should be transferred to output devices, or when instruction should be transferred. All these transferring the program instruction and also with the data between the various units, that is actually known as control unit. The next one is arithmetic and logic unit, ALU. Arithmetic and logic unit perform arithmetic and logical operations. Mainly it perform the all arithmetic and logical operations. Normally we can say if you want to perform any operation in a computer system, all the operations of computer system are done inside the ALU. Mainly all the operations. We can't say this operation, that operation. You can't say particular operation. Means all the operation. If computer system has any operation, means that all the operations are completed inside the ALU, arithmetic and logic unit. And these are the mainly two parts of computer, or we can central processing unit, CPU. That is, one is control unit and one more is arithmetic and logical unit. Control unit control the overall operations. Arithmetic and logical unit, ALU, perform the all arithmetic and logical operations inside the computer system. Next is memory unit. Next one is memory unit. The results are generated from the processing have to be preserved before it displays. So whenever if you're going to perform the particular operations, after that you have to display the result. Before displaying that, when you have to save the data, data should be stored in particular place. For that purpose, we are using the memory unit. Memory unit is used to store the data. So after processing the data, data should be stored or preserved for some time. Normally some time, or if you want to store permanently, is also possible to store. So that purpose memory unit is used. The memory unit thus provides the space to store input data, intermediate result, and also final output generated. So mainly input unit store the three types of data. Whenever if you're going to feed the data, when you're going to giving the input to the computer, at that time that data will be stored, and after that it produces the results, intermediate result. When complex operations are there, means then contain the intermediate result. That intermediate results are also stored, and also with the final output, which output you produce, that output also stored inside the memory unit. The next, if they take the input unit, memory unit, output unit, secondary storage, all everything is togetherly known as peripheral devices. Peripheral devices means it contains input unit, output unit, and also with the secondary storage, also primary storage. Any storage, memory unit, all the memory devices, input devices, and also with the output device. Everything is known as peripheral devices. Next we will move to the output unit. Output unit. It is used to print or display the result. If you want to print or to display the result, then we are mainly using the output unit, that is stored in memory unit. In memory unit we are storing the data. After executing the or after processing the data, information or result will be generated. That result is stored in memory unit. That will be displayed using the memory unit or output unit. By using the output units, data can be displayed, that is output unit. The actual function of the output unit is just to the reverse of input unit. So work, if you take the output and input unit, work will be the opposite of input unit here. Means input unit, it will take the data from the user and feed to the computer, giving to the computer. But if you take the output device, output unit, that is from the computer to external world, data will be transferred. For that purpose, output unit is used. The output units link the computer to the outside world. Normally input if you taken also, that is connecting to the computer and external world or outside world. If you take the input or output, both the devices, both the units also working as a same, but work will be inverted of input. If you take the output device, the work will be inverted of output device. Next we will move to the characteristics of motherboard. Next important topic here, characteristics of motherboard. This part they are asking for 3 marks. Characteristics of motherboard. The motherboard may be characterized by the form factor, chipset, and type of processor socket used. So if you take the motherboard, so we can categorize the motherboard. Normally we can say based on that factor, based on this one we are categorizing. So if you take the motherboard can be characterized, or you can say the categorized using the 3 factors. The first one is form factor. Refers to the motherboard's geometry, dimensions, and arrangement and electrical equipment. So if you take the form factor, it mainly consists of the shape of the motherboard. Sometimes it will be rectangular in shape, or sometimes in a square in shape. Based on the shape and also dimensions, height and width will be there. height and width also possible. Sometimes if you take the laptop, the motherboard will be size less in size of the motherboard will be less, and if you take the normal computer system, that size of the motherboard will little big compared to the laptop. So that is the geometry and dimensions, and also with the arrangement of electrical equipment. If you take the electrical equipment inside the motherboard, the arrangement of that one, that also comes under form factor. So based on the form factor, it's possible to characterize or categorize the motherboard. The next one is chipset. Next one, second option is chipset. The chipset controls the majority of the resources of the computer. Mainly it controls the resources of the computer. The function of chipset is to coordinate data transfer between the various components of the computer system. So whenever if you are going to transfer the data between various components inside, so chipset will coordinate the data transfer. Chipset will coordinate the data transfer inside the computer system. So based on the chipset also is possible to characterize. Next one is processor socket use. Which type of processor socket is used inside the motherboard? Based on that one also is possible to characterize. The processor socket may be rectangular connector into which processor is mounted vertically. So sometimes rectangular shape, sometimes square shape, or sometimes different shape. So these actually known as the processor socket. Different types of processor sockets are available. One is pin grid array is there, low insertion force. So there are different types of like that. There are different types of processor sockets are available. Based on processor socket also is possible to characterize or categorize the motherboard. So these are the different types, or we can say these are the different basis of categorizing the motherboard. One is form factor, second one chipset, third one is the processor socket. Next one is types of motherboard. If you take the motherboard, there are 4 different types in motherboard. There are mainly 4 different types of motherboards are available. One is XT motherboards, extended technology, XT motherboard. Next one is AT motherboard, advanced technology motherboard. Next one is baby AT means baby advanced technology motherboards. Next one is ATX, advanced technology extended motherboards. These are the mainly 4 types of motherboards available. We will see one by one. The first one is XT motherboard. XT stands for extended technology. XT stands for extended technology, and remember this is a old model motherboard. This is old model motherboards. In this we can find the old model processor socket. Old model processor socket, that is low insertion force, LIF sockets, LIF, or we can say the low insertion force sockets. And it also contains the RAM. Slot. Here it contains the DIMM, dual inline memory modules, DIMM type of RAM slots, and also ISA slot. ISA means industry standard architecture. That is mainly used to connect the external devices. If you want to connect any external devices, that also possible. The next one is 12-pin power connector. Mainly contains the 12-pin power connector, and this type of motherboard does not have any slot and also port also not available. Port and also the slot is not available in case of XT motherboards. Example: Pentium 1, Pentium MMX, Pentium 2 and Pentium 4. These are Pentium Pro. These are the main example for the XT motherboards. Next one is AT motherboard. If you take the AT motherboard, AT stands for advanced technology. AT motherboards have PGA sockets. PGA means pin grid array sockets, and it also contains SDRAM slot. The different types of RAM already we discussed. One is SRAM, DRAM, SDRAM and DDRAM. It contains the SDRAM slot. If you take the AT motherboard, that contains the SDRAM slot, and it contains the 20-pin power connector. If you take XT, that is only 12 pin, but here it contains 20-pin power connectors. It also contains PCI, peripheral component interconnect. PCI means it is a peripheral component interconnect slot, and also ISA slot, industry standard architecture. industry standard architecture ISA slot, and 80 has 5 pin large keyboard connector. Mainly if you take the keyboard connector, here mainly 5 pin keyboard, normally that is known as PS2 keyboard connectors are available, or we can say 5 pin connectors are available. Example, Pentium 3 processor. Pentium 3 processor is example for 80 motherboards. Next one is Baby 80 motherboard. Next one is Baby 80 motherboard. The Baby 80 motherboard have the combination of XT and 80. Mainly it is a combination of XT and 80. All the features of, we can say some features of XT, and also it has some features of 80 motherboard. It was first PC motherboard built in sockets for IO ports. Mainly it contains the, if you take the any PC, that PC is based on the first PC is based on the Baby 80 motherboards, and it is mainly using cable to connect on the back side of the case. It mainly contains, normally if you take the computer of CPU, inside the back side you can connect the different cable. That type of motherboards are available in case of Baby 80. Example, Pentium 3 and Pentium 4. Pentium 3 and Pentium 4 is example for Baby 80 motherboards. Last type of motherboard, that is ATX motherboard. Last type of motherboard, that is ATX motherboard. It's an advanced technology extended. It is advanced technology extended motherboard. So it is the latest motherboard. It is called as ATX motherboard and designed by the ATX form factor. Mainly used as the advanced technology extended form factor. And remember, in this motherboard it contains a MPGA, multiple pin grid array, or MPGA processor socket, DDR RAM, double data rate random access memory slot, and AGP, accelerated graphics port AGP slot, then SATA connectors, and also contains a 20 or to 24 pin power connector. It contains, ATX contains 20 to 24 pin power connectors. Example is Pentium 4, dual core, core 2 duo, quad core, i3, i5, i7, means all the modern computers are based on the ATX motherboard. These are the different types of motherboard available. One is XT, AT, Baby 80, and also finally with the ATX. So by here we reach the end of session today. In this session we mainly discussed about the computer system and different block diagram of the computer system, and after that we discussed with the types of motherboard and also with the characteristics of motherboard. Based on this one, I'll give the worksheet, work out that one. By here I'll wind up my today's session. Thank you.